So Johnson Fiat Alfa Romeo of Annapolis gave us the Stelvio for the day. Let's see how this thing does. The first thing you think when you get inside is you think, hey, I'm inside a Giulia, because the interior is a lot like a Giulia. And I'll just kind of give you a quick pan around. Big screen here, 8-inch screen, steering wheel set up the same. This is cool. When you look at the start-stop, you go Ferrari. And let's just fire this thing up. Now, it doesn't roar to life like a Ferrari. I mean, not all Italian cars roar to life. So we shift into gear using a BMW style shift. You press the trigger, pull it into D, and we are ready to roll. Love the dash. Looks really sporty. Getting on the freeway, plenty of power. It doesn't punch into traffic, but it certainly has enough to get up to speed. On the freeway, there's very little noise. You get a little bit coming off the mirror over there, but other than that, it's very quiet. You barely hear the engine at all. The seats, comfortable, very comfortable. I could do 700 miles in this, no problem. So I keep looking for paddle shifters, which are not there. But that's because this is the base model. And Alfa did the launch opposite to the way they did the Giulia. They had the super hot Quadrifoglio come out, and then they kind of went downrange. This came out with the base model, and then they're gonna go up to the Sport, and then the Sport TI, maybe even a Quadrifoglio, first quarter of 2018. We're gonna set up adaptive cruise control. You just hit this button right here, and then we're gonna lock onto the truck in front of us. Let's see if it speeds up as that truck speeds up. It is. Headed up to 64, back to 63. Now he's braking, let's see what happens. 60, 59, 58. Adaptive cruise control is part of the Driver Assistance Dynamic Plus package. Really something you should consider if you're going to be in traffic, you're going to take long trips, going to take the family anywhere. It's a fantastic system. I've used it in several cars that we've test drove. This worked excellent, as you could see. We didn't rear end a giant truck, which is a big plus. That's where the plus comes in the Dynamic Plus, actually. If you're worried about gas mileage and getting into an SUV, we're looking at 22, 24, 28. So 28 freeway, I always use the freeway one because it sounds better. But yeah, I mean, that's really good gas mileage for an SUV. So let's hit some curvy roads and see how the Stelvio handles it. Putting the gas in. Leaps forward, you can feel a little lean, but hey, it's a higher car. Going into 15 miles an hour and not wanting to hit an Audi in front of us. Hitting the brakes a little hard. They feel spongy at first, and then they really start to grab. One neat thing about the Stelvio is that the pedal, the brake pedal, has position sensors. So as you get deeper into the pedal, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, it's gonna brake harder, but it also can read how quickly and how deep you get into that pedal, and then it interprets that and applies the brakes accordingly. If you need a fast stop, it's going to get there for you. Otherwise, if you're just kind of leisurely driving around, it gives you what you need to make it the smoothest drive possible. On the back roads here, you can see it can certainly handle the twisty stuff. Power is put on the ground through all four wheels via an 8-speed ZF transmission. That's the kind of transmission in an Aston Martin DB11. The backup cam is tiny. It is. You could use a bigger backup cam. But really, all you need to do is see kind of where you're going and make sure you don't hit children. Let's check the acceleration. We got a clear road in front of us. We're not going to get too terribly fast, but let's see how this goes. Lift off on to turn the car back on. And here we go. Foot all the way down. They say this will get to 60 in 5.4 seconds. And we're there. So who's the Stelvio for? Well, it's for a BMW X3 driver or an Audi Q5 driver that really wants something different, something more exotic, something more Italian, something that not a whole lot of other people have. And they're also drivers, people who buy this car, and they're practical. Look at the rear seat leg room. Look at how easy it is to drop the seats from all the way in the back. This car is practical. It's an SUV that's actually fun to drive, and I absolutely think it's worth a test drive.